vast, indifferent. The desert stretches, a silent witness to millennia. Time blurs here, yet history is etched into its very fabric, a canvas of sun-baked earth and shifting sands. But beneath this unforgiving surface, something moved. A pulse, faint yet persistent. A network, invisible to the casual eye, yet profoundly vital. What secrets did these immense, desolate landscapes hold? What human endeavors transpired in their depths, connecting worlds thought to be isolated? We delve into an ancient mystery, a silent web woven across continents. For millennia, distance was the ultimate barrier. Empires rose and fell, civilizations flourished, yet the spaces between them remained vast, perilous chasms. Communication, trade, diplomacy, all were slowed, distorted, or simply impossible across such hostile terrain. How did disparate powers, separated by endless dunes and rocky plains, manage to exchange anything of value, anything crucial? A critical challenge demanding an extraordinary solution. The sheer scale of the separation was staggering, yet humans found a way. Yet, the urge to connect, to exert influence, to share resources, was undeniable. Rulers needed intelligence. Merchants sought new markets. Scholars desired knowledge from distant lands. This necessity birthed an ambition, a desperate drive to bridge the unbridgeable. A web had to be spun, however fragile, however hidden, across the most formidable barriers on Earth. But who would dare to weave such a thread? And how would they accomplish a feat that seemed to defy all logic, all nature? Enter the desert couriers. Not armies. Not grand caravans of hundreds. But individuals, or small, discrete groups, who specialized in traversing the impossible. They were the silent architects of this ancient internet, their lives defined by the rhythm of the sand and the sun. These weren't ordinary travelers. They were a breed apart, selected for their unique capabilities and an almost supernatural connection to the desert. What qualities defined these elusive figures, whose names are whispered only in legend? Their survival depended on a profound understanding of their environment. The shifting sands were their map, the stars their compass, the whisper of the wind a guide. They knew where water could be coaxed from parched earth, how to read the subtle signs of approaching storms, and the precise moment to move under the cover of darkness. This was not mere travel, it was an intimate dance with the desert itself, a mastery of its every whim. Their knowledge was their shield, their wisdom their weapon against the elements. What did they carry? More than just gold or silk. They bore the weight of empires on their shoulders. Messages of war and peace, royal decrees, encrypted intelligence that could change the course of history. These were not simply packages, they were the very sinews of power, transported in absolute secrecy, across hundreds, sometimes thousands, of miles. A precious cargo, unseen, yet profoundly impactful, determining destinies. The contents of their pouches could ignite wars or broker fragile pieces. While intelligence flowed, so too did tangible wealth. Exotic spices, rare minerals, precious gemstones, and the artistry of skilled craftsmen. These goods were often too valuable, too delicate, or too urgently needed to risk the slower, more visible routes of large caravans. The couriers facilitated a bespoke economy, connecting exclusive markets with efficiency and discretion. A testament to demand-driving ingenious, often dangerous, supply chains, where the value of speed surpassed all else. These were not random journeys. Over centuries, intricate, often secret, networks of pathways emerged. Routes carved not by paved roads, but by repeated passage, by shared knowledge of water points and safe havens. These were the veins of the silent web, connecting distant cities, fortified outposts, and hidden oases across vast geographical expanses. A vast, organic system, evolved from sheer necessity and refined through generations of arduous travel. How were these invisible highways maintained? We often speak of the Silk Road as the grand artery of ancient trade. But the desert couriers operated in its shadows, or along its most dangerous, desolate fringes. They often bypassed the major thoroughfares, choosing speed and stealth over security in numbers. Their paths were less celebrated, more perilous, yet equally vital for specific, high-value, or time-sensitive exchanges. A parallel world of connectivity existed, unseen, yet intertwining with the more famous routes, offering alternative paths and deeper secrets. The oasis was more than just a stop for water. It was a nexus. A temporary market for crucial information. A place for clandestine meetings, for exchanging dispatches, receiving new orders, and sometimes, for disappearing without a trace. These verdant islands in a sea of sand were the data centers of the ancient world, operating under strict codes of conduct and silence. Within their palms, alliances were forged and betrayals planned. What secrets were whispered under the shade of the date palms? Central to their success was the camel. The legendary ship of the desert. Unmatched in its endurance, its ability to carry heavy loads with minimal water, it was the perfect partner, an indispensable ally. More than just transport, the camel was a symbol of their resilience, a silent engine powering the silent web. Without these magnificent creatures, such vast, rapid desert crossings would have been simply impossible. Their symbiotic relationship with the couriers defined desert travel. The desert itself was a formidable foe: heat, thirst, sandstorms, disorientation. But it was not the only one. Marauders, rival factions, jealous empires, all sought to intercept the valuable cargo or crucial intelligence these couriers carried. The couriers were not just navigators, they were silent warriors, always vigilant, always ready to defend their mission with their lives. Every journey was a gamble, every dune potentially concealing an enemy. Survival demanded constant, acute awareness. The Roman Empire, the Persian Sassanids, the Kushite Kingdom, these colossal powers all relied, directly or indirectly, on such networks. The couriers provided the intelligence that shaped strategy, the resources that fueled armies, and the diplomatic ties that maintained uneasy peace or sparked conflict. Their service was a hidden pillar of imperial power, discreet, yet indispensable to the very fabric of ancient governance. How many decisions of magnitude were made based on their tireless journeys? Beyond material goods and political machinations, the couriers facilitated the exchange of something even more profound: ideas. Philosophical texts, scientific discoveries, medical knowledge, religious doctrines, all traversed the desert sands, carefully protected. This unseen flow of intellect enriched civilizations, accelerating innovation and shaping cultural landscapes across continents. The seeds of new thoughts, carried in a pouch, could blossom into revolutions of understanding, quietly passed from hand to hand. Diplomatic overtures, often too sensitive for public display, found their conduit through these silent messengers. Agreements were forged, alliances brokered, and terms of surrender delivered, all under the cloak of anonymity provided by the desert's vastness. The couriers were often the first point of contact, laying the groundwork for official envoys, enabling delicate negotiations far from prying eyes. Their discretion was paramount, their reliability critical for maintaining fragile peace. Who were these individuals, really? Their names are largely lost to history, swallowed by the sands they mastered. Their stories, untold in official chronicles. They left behind no grand monuments, no epic poems celebrating their feats. Their legacy is etched not in stone, but in the connections they forged, the knowledge they disseminated, and the subtle shifts in power they enabled. A silent testament to profound impact, a collective memory that whispers across the centuries. Their true identities remain an enduring enigma. As the world evolved, so did its needs and technologies. Sea routes became more dominant, faster, capable of carrying far greater volumes. New land routes, less perilous and better infrastructured, emerged. The urgency for the desert courier's unique, dangerous services began to wane. Their silent web, once indispensable, slowly unraveled, its threads dissolving into the very sands it once mastered. The era that had so desperately needed them was giving way to a new age of connectivity. The networks didn't vanish overnight. They slowly faded, replaced by more conventional means of communication and trade. Yet, their impact lingered. The knowledge of routes, of desert survival, and of interregional connection had laid foundations that influenced future developments and exploration. A deep, subtle imprint on the course of human history, often overlooked. The very idea of connecting vast distances, however dangerous, was pioneered by these silent figures, whose legacy is a testament to human ingenuity. Today, traces remain. Ancient caravan routes, dried-up wells, forgotten way stations, fragments scattered across the vast emptiness. They speak of a time when the desert was not merely an obstacle, but a highway. These faint echoes remind us of the incredible human endeavor, the sheer will to connect, that defined these desert couriers. A profound narrative of endurance, ingenuity, and a determination to overcome the impossible. Their story is written not in books, but in the very topography of the land. The desert holds its secrets close. The names of the couriers may be lost, their individual journeys unrecorded, but their collective silent web, spanning continents and linking empires, profoundly shaped the ancient world. Their story is a powerful reminder that some of the greatest forces in history operate not with fanfare or grand declarations, but with quiet, relentless determination. A mystery revealed, yet still veiled in sand and time, waiting for future generations to uncover its full depth. Their spirit endures.